Hello everyone, welcome to Automobile Engineering class. I am V. Rakesh, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department. In this session, I am going to explain valve mechanism, types of valve mechanism, construction and its working principle, and also going to explain types of inlet and exhaust valves. Valve mechanism. A valve mechanism is a control system which is used for filling the combustion charges, that is air and fuel mixture in a SI engine, that means spark ignition engine. Example for spark ignition engine is petrol engine, and only air in a CI engine, that means compression ignition engine. Example for CI engine is diesel engine. It is also used for the removal of the products of combustion at the correct timings. In case of two-stroke engines, the valve gear mechanism is not used because in those engines the ports are opened and closed by the moving piston. In four-stroke engines, different valve mechanisms are used. These are basically divided into two types. In this first one is overhead valve mechanism. Second one is overhead camshaft mechanism. See the animation figure for valve mechanism. This is the working of inlet and exhaust valve mechanism. Let us going to explain overhead valve mechanism. The mechanism for this type of arrangement is shown in this figure. See this animation figure. In this is the crankshaft that is connected to the piston crank. This is the camshaft. This camshaft is connected to the uh, crankshaft with the help of timing gear. Uh, the crankshaft drives the camshaft through the timing gears. There are a series of loops on the camshaft which control the valve movement. See here, this is the lifter. It is also called as tappet. See this figure. This is the valve lifter or tappet. The lifter are above the lobes. These are the lobes. The lifter are above the lobes. There is one lobe for each lifter. The crankshaft lifts the valve lifter. See here, this is the camshaft. Camshaft lifts the valve lifter, which in turn operates push rod. See here, this is the push rod. The motion is transferred to the top of the head through the push rod. The push rod further transfers this motion to the rocker arm. See here, this is the rocker arm through the adjusting screw. This one is the adjusting screw. In the center of the rocker arm, there is a shaft known as rocker shaft. The rocker arm is pivoted above this rocker shaft. When one end of the rocker arm, when one end of the rocker arm is lifted by this push rod, the other end goes uh, the other end goes down and push the valve down to open in cylinder head. The valve moves in the valve guide secure to the head. The opening of the valve puts the valve spring See here, this is the valve spring in compression. When when this cam rotates further, the cam lobe loses contact with the tappet, and compression in spring lifts the valve and pushes the tappet up. The same action is repeated by the contact of the lobe with the tappet. You can observe the clear animation in this figure also. Second mechanism is overhead camshaft mechanism. The principle on which this mechanism works is same as used in the overhead wall mechanism. This system, see here, this system does not have any push rods. This system does not have any push rods, and the camshafts is mounted on the top of the head. See here, the rocker arms are also placed over or under the cam. The rocker arms then reach away from the cam to the walls. Many inline, see here, this is the many inline overhead camshaft engines use one camshaft. This is the example for SOH, that means single overhead camshaft. This type of engines having only one camshaft. In the past few years, to increase engine output, some engines have two camshafts. See this figure, this figure having two camshafts, giving double overhead camshaft. Short form is DOHC. One camshaft operates the intake valves and the other camshaft operates the exhaust valve. This is the construction and working principle of overhead camshaft mechanism. Next topic is rocker arms. The motion of the camshaft is converted into vertical motion by the cams and is transferred to the valves through rocker arms. See here, these rocker arms are held in place by rocker shafts. This circle is rocker shaft, and a lash adjuster is attached to one end of each arm. This component is used to adjust the clearance between the rocker arm and the wall. If the clearance too large, it can result in either incomplete opening of the valve or tappet noise becoming too loud. It is caused by the impact of the rocker arm and valve stem. If the clearance is too small, the valve may not close properly when the stem undergoes thermal expansion. Uh, the rocker arms are normally forged from carbon steel. The part that comes in contact with the valve stem is given a surface hardening treatment. Recently, rocker arms have been made from aluminum alloy or ceramic materials. Next topic is inlet and exhaust valves. The function of the intake and exhaust valve is to open and close the openings between the intake or exhaust ports and the combustion chambers. The fresh gases enter into the combustion chamber through the inlet valves, and used gases go out the combustion chamber through the exhaust valves. Usually, there is a one intake and one exhaust valve for each cylinder, but in high performance engines, two intake and two exhaust valves per cylinder are employed. The inlet and exhaust valves differs in size and even in material. The engine valves are broadly classified into the following groups. First one is poppet valve, second one is sodium filled valve, sleeve valve, fourth one is rotary valve. Now let us go into explain poppet valve. See this figure. This poppet valve consists of the following parts. This is the combustion phase. This is the margin. This bottom part is head. This slant part is seat face. This curved part is fillet. This vertical narrow part is stem. This is the keeper groove. This end part is tip. The poppet valve is most commonly used for automobile engines. The poppet valve looks like a mushroom with a long stem. When the valve opens and closes down, it creates a popping noise. That's why it is called as poppet valve. Now going to explain parts of poppet valve. In this first one is head. Uh, it is a broad face. It is the broad face of the valve and carries the valve face. During working of the engine, it is the hardest part of the valve. The valve having hollow and concave head is known as trumpet valve and is generally used for inlet valves. Uh, See here, valve concave valve is in the shape of uh, concave is the shape of this way. This is the concave shape. Next one is the convex head valve is known as mushroom valve and is used as exhaust valve. This is the convex convex shape. Next part is face. See here, this slant part is called face. It is a circular and angular seating surface machined on the valve head. This is generally machined at an angle of either 30 degrees or 45 degrees to sit on the similarly inclined surface of the valve seat and makes a tight joint. Next part is stem. It is a working surface. It is a working surface of the valve and this portion of the valve moves up and down in the valve guide. The heat of the valve head is conducted to the stem and it is dissipated to the cylinder head through the valve guide. The last part is tip. This is the tip. It is the flat end of the stem over which the rocker arm acts to open the valve. This tip is generally deposited with coating of a hard metal to resist wear. Now let us go into explain construction and working of these poppet walls. See here, this is the working arrangement of the wall as shown figure. See here, this is the wall. This part is wall spring seat. This is the wall guide. This is the wall seal. This is the wall spring. This part is wall retainer. This end part is wall keeper. See here, this wall stem. This wall stem moves up and down in the wall guide, which is fixed in the engine. The wall seats. The wall seats at the wall port. The wall seat contact the wall face in order that combustion chamber may seal. A special steel wall seat ring is pressed fitted into the wall seat. the spring retainer, see here, this is spring retainer, are secured in place at the top of the valve stem by valve keepers in order to prevent the leakage of oil into the combustion chambers. Valve seals, valve seals with higher wear and oil resistance characteristics are installed at the end of the valve guides. This valve spring is used to close up the valve and is secured in place by a spring seat, spring retainers, and valve keepers. These components form one part, that is spring seat, spring retainers, valve keepers. These components form one part of the combustion chamber, therefore, they are exposed to high temperature and pressures, and further more experience frequent impacts with the valve seats. Thus, the intake and exhaust valves are made from a special composition steel with excellent heat and wear resistant characteristics. The special cast iron the special cast iron made valve guides are press fitted into the press fitted onto the cylinder head, and in these guides valves are inserted. The material for inlet valve is usually a special carbon steel including silicon and chrome. This has particularly good corrosion resistance and also has good heat conduction and a low coefficient of expansion. The exhaust valves are subjected to high temperatures, so heat resistance is very important. The material used is a special steel made by including chrome and nickel in carbon steel. This alloy has particularly good heat resistance and corrosion resistance. The exhaust valves use a material with very good heat resistance for the valve head and a wear resistance for the valve stem. These are valve head and valve stem. These are welded together into a single component. Next topic is sodium cooled valves. Since the poppet valves have their heads inside the combustion chamber, hence there is a problem of cooling the valves. The exhaust valves are under more temperature effects. The one method is to use good heat resistance material for making valve head. In some cases, sodium is used for cooling inside the valves, which are made hollow. Such valves are known as sodium cooled valves. This hollow part is filled with sodium liquid because sodium having melting point is 97.5 degrees. The sodium cooled valve has a hollow stem which is partly filled with metallic sodium. Since the melting point of the sodium is 97.5 degrees, so at operating temperature it is liquid. When the valve moves up and down, the sodium the sodium is thrown upwards into the hotter part of the valve. Sodium absorbs heat and gives it up to the cooler stem as it falls down into the stem again. This circulation cools the valve head and the valve and heads, and hence it runs cooler, resulting in longer life. Last topic is valve springs. See here, this is the different types of valve springs are available in IC engines. The valve spring is used to close up the valve. The valve springs need to provide a spring force that rapidly and precisely closes the valve in accordance with the cam movement. Since they are repeatedly compressed compressed and released compressed and relaxed together with the engine speed, therefore they need to be resistant to fatigue and to be very tough. The material used in making valve springs is generally that heat resistant spring steel, chrome vanadium steel, or silicon chrome steel. Some engines employ double springs or unevenly pitched spring in order to prevent abnormal vibration of the valve when the valve is traveling at high speeds. The double springs have an inner and outer spring. See here, this double spring have an inner and outer spring wound in opposite direction. The uneven pitch springs are those which have a closer pitch at the cylinder heads at the cylinder head side as shown in this figure, that is uneven pitch spring. This is the brief discussion about valve mechanisms and types of valve mechanisms and types of inlet and exhaust valves. In coming lecture I will going to explain combustion chambers. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe my channel for more updates.